Hello everyone, Jacques from Dapper Shaves. We're back in the lovely rainforest for Straight Razor Shave. This episode specifically is going to be a Artisan spotlight shave. So it's going to be a Trevor Wolf's creation in Damascus. We're going to have a close look at that. But before I continue, first of all, very welcome to all current and new viewers, subscribers. I really appreciate it. Moreover, those of you that's been actively supporting this channel, either through donations or other things, showcasing stones and razors and so forth for the purposes of this channel, it's much appreciated. There's quite a few of you. Thank you for that. So a recap quickly on this channel. This channel is an educational channel, so you will essentially see three types of videos. You will see shave education videos, of which this one's going to be one. There's going to be videos around stones and honing and showcasing of that. That's the other thing you'll see, with lots of technical detail. And then every now and again I'll do a ASMR video, either honing or shaving, so that you guys can get a break from my voice. So let's quickly get into the gear. First of all is this beautiful Damascus. It's a Damascus steel razor. We'll get into the technical details of this razor. So don't go away. We're going to have some close-ups, talk about the steel, all kinds of other stuff. Another master from South Africa, Fernando, he's just released this soap in collaboration with Pasteur Pharmacy in New York called Bloom. I like this one. We're going to give that a go. I'm going to use Miyake Splash, also from Fernando, Master Soap Creations. And I've got some alum I'm going to use as a deodorant or antiperspirant, and my trusted Lancashire, I've got the name right, I'll link it down. And the brush. Yes, all luxury today. And I've got glasses on, so I can just read some notes. Alright, so a quick caveat. This razor is on loan. So Trevor contacted me some time ago and said, Jacques, I would like you to please use this razor, and I'll link up here the previous shave with a large 8/8 blade. If you want to go and see that. But in any case, he asked, Jacques, you've used many modern vintage razors, also razors from other artisans around the world, different steels and so forth. I think you know what you're talking about. Shave with this, do a video. I don't expect you to do anything besides giving your personal truthful thoughts, and then giving me private feedback around some kind of development as needed. So that's a caveat I want to put out of the way. I don't own this razor. I did not contact Trevor. I did not ask him to do this. He's entrusting this with me based on my skill and so forth. So that out the way. What we're going to do on this is I'm going to get lathering, and then I'm going to play you guys some video. It's behind the scenes footage. I eventually had the opportunity to meet up with Trevor, and he was so kind enough as to showcase how he goes about doing things. And we actually, I'll show you some footage in his workshop. I'm going to do my first shave with this razor. We're going to talk about the technical aspects of it. I'll do some close-ups of the razor and some scope shots of the Damascus steel and also the edge. And I'm going to do my post-shave. So that's coming up. You guys enjoy the video. I'm going to lather up. People are going to tell me, Job, slow down on the coffees.
Yeah, the Makana.
Oh, this is very cool.
Paintings I've done, furniture I've made. house are built.
Now we're going down into the dungeon. Thank you, Trevor. Okay, so this is Vinland Damascus.
Yeah.
And this is RWL 34, which is the shiny bit, and it's then carbon steel
Yeah, it's okay.
folded. And then when we grind this, I did this 5 minutes ago quickly for Trevor. I grind out this one. It still needs the edge. So if you guys are lucky, I might actually do a shave with this one, or a similar one. Guys, pretty. Pictures doesn't do this any justice.
So you get the, I'd normally work thickness with the sounder. So you can hear the ping there is even through.
See guys, there's another lesson on how to determine how thick a grind is.
Yeah, so it's not flexible as per se, but it's extremely thin, and you can hear the thickness is the same through the ping. Yeah, so
All done on a single machine here. Custom built with a water bucket and then a series of belts to get the
iron carbon work, everything's done, yeah.
development of razors. Some up and coming Kamasoris. These things are still pretty much axes that needs to get grind away. Just to give you an idea of how much steel gets grind away, and this is where the bulk of the money goes in. Obviously still a chunky piece that needs to get worked. Progress. Scales being custom made, glued in, initial setup, mock setup to ensure everything lines up. Trevor, this is going to be razor what? 350, 360? Don't know yet.
It's always work in progress.
So this is the one that's currently being worked on, and if I know Trevor, this is most likely going to be done Sunday evening or Monday morning. Essentially, I want some wood. And then tooling, we saw the grinder, we saw the belts, but then drilling equipment, more wood stock for scales. And very limited equipment. This is the workshop, guys, where everything gets done. No fancy tooling, no voodoo, no magic by this dude. So here's the razor. Okay, it's a 6/8 blade size, straight edge. The spine is 6 millimeter thick. Okay, and this is a full-blown Swedish steel. Yeah, so the purest steel in the world is regarded Swedish and Japanese, historically and modern. But this is a very modern way of making the steel. We're going to talk about that. By the way, I'm not done with my lather. So steel purity. How they make that steel is quite interesting. What they do is they melt the steel so that it is molten, and then they put it through an atomizer in a chamber with inert gas. So what that does is there's no oxygen in there, so when they blow that molten atom particles into this furnace, it cools down and it becomes little droplets, small little steel balls, but they are very clean and very pure. And then they take, so first of all is the steel construction is called DS93X. So the shiny bit on this razor is the RWL34, which is a stainless with a 14% chromium content. And then the darker stuff is what they call PMC27, which is a carbon steel, but they add a 13% chromium to it, so it's essentially a stainless. And that's how they form these two steels. And then they take them and they layer them in a canister, and then they forge weld them together under pressure and heat, also with inert gas, and then they create a forged block that then gets given to an expert smith, and then they go and draw out the steel blanks and folding it for that specific pattern. So all of these patterns are stuff that they've patented, you know, a specific way of folding it, really done nicely. Once again, also nitrogen quenched. I'm going to take that off. Nitrogen quenched, the Rockwell hardness on this is again around the 62. And this is my first shave with that, so I've got about, I think, 2.5 days growth, maybe more. So that for me is essentially all against the grain coming around here. Once again, edge shave ready. Very close shave. We're going to do a second pass. So once again, it's the beautiful patterns, but I'm not sure if it's going to be visible on the razor. On the spine there looks like fine lines, and that's the layers of the Damascus. I'll drop in some scope shots of that. It's absolutely beautiful. Now that you know how the steel is made, how pure it is, the technology behind it. I think you've got a much better appreciation for the quality and the technology of the steel that's gone in here, plus Trevor's skill. So the silence indicates my enjoyment levels. This is really nice. So the other thing I spoke on the previous shave is grip. If you naturally close your eyes and you want to hold something where you put your fingers, this is how it's designed. Let me first finish the shave and I'll cover it. Trevor makes use of contours everywhere, where it's thinner and thicker, and it encourages a good positive grip. He hasn't got jumping on his blades. These things don't slip. It just feels very natural in hand. Look, I'm actually gripping on the blade. It really doesn't matter how you hold this blade. It is incredibly comfortable always. So, well done again, Trevor. I want to do some of the talking out the way so I can just concentrate. Yeah, I'm not going to really cover about the rest. We've all seen the craftsmanship. I'll do close-ups. We'll have a look at the edge. We'll look at the Damascus. This is also quite a nice stiff blade. It's not ultra thin. It is let me just justify that. This thing is wafer thin, okay, but it's a very stiff steel, which I like. It just moves through any kind of beard really effortlessly once it's sharp. The other thing you'll see is Trevor does a chrome mirror polish. And when you see that video, you're going to see it reflects on his bevels as well. Once again, I like a square point, and I was fortunate enough to select this razor out of quite a few. So Trevor didn't say, yeah, take this one, I prepped this one specially. I selected from quite a few. And that is actually current stock he is making for Blades show in Atlanta on the 2nd to the 4th. So if you're in Atlanta, I think tickets are already available. Double D10. It really just mows through here. Once again, the scales has got a carbon fiber liner. And once again, Trevor does everything in-house himself. He does the carbon fiber, he does the scales. These scales are kernite. Everything on this razor is bespoke. So that was the first pass. Very pleasant shave, no irritation. We have removed most of the ugly stuff. We'll do a touch up, maybe push the edge a bit to see what it's capable of or not. And then we're going to do my post shave. This being a carbon steel, a stainless steel, a lot less corrosion. It's very corrosion resistant, wear resistant, so folk that have got a tendency to struggle with carbon type blades, with this one really don't need to worry. Just once again what this looks like. It is absolutely gorgeous steel. You've previously seen Trevor's handiwork on finishing. Once again, Teflon washers, unique pin. It just fits. It doesn't matter how you hold the razor, 2 fingers, 3 fingers. It really, everything just sits and feels very well balanced and nimble. This razor weighs 60 grams, so it's in line with Philharmonica 14 Sub-Zero, exactly the same weight. Please give me the opportunity to put some clean water in my basin. This looks a bit disgusting. And then we'll do the second pass. Yeah guys, I'm not going to add anything on it, otherwise it becomes repetitive. Shave ready. Very nice size. Very high-end steel, very unique steel, very pure steel, and all of these things translate not just into beauty but also performance. I've been a big guy saying stainless steels are a little bit more carbide heavy and therefore a heavier grain structure. But with this steel, very fine droplets. I've explained that process, but when they do that high pressure, high heat canister press, they actually reduce the size of that billet by 30%. So they've got a very fine, very tight stainless steel structure. And it shows. The soap from Master Soap Creations, absolutely beautiful, lovely scent. It's based on Tom Ford's Black Orchid. Lather is ridiculously easy, smooth skin, nourishment, glide, sleekness, scent. You can't go wrong. Pasteur, it's either available in South Africa through his store or through Pasteur. This is a collaboration with him. And if you haven't got one yet, I think if you're gonna sleep, you're gonna lose out. They're gonna sell very, very quickly. Right, so let's put the edge around through its paces a bit. bit more of a technical detail insight. When I start, I always recommend a very shallow blade skin angle, and I still do, especially if you're learning. But if you do the first pass with a very shallow blade angle, it really doesn't matter what type of stroke or pass you do. If you do that work very well, then you can start pushing the edge limits without having an impact on edge longevity. And on this thing, edge longevity really shouldn't be a problem. So what I do is a very light stroke, but I open the blade face to 30%. There's actually a little thing I'm working on, shallow, 20 and 30 degrees, if you are doing a 3-pass shave, but we'll cover that in another video. Now I did exactly that to see how close I can get, and yes, one hair and yes, two, but that's essentially BBS. Now, in the neck it's going to be a different story, because for the skin to get to its original relaxed state and temperature takes some time, so generally half an hour after your shave is the right time to check how properly you have done a shave. I have done quite a few in my life before, so I know, I've got a very good idea in advance what's it going to be. So hopefully you guys can see the blade angle I was using on there. Yes, very satisfying. I'm going to do the other side, same thing, and then we'll go full pass against the grain on the tough stuff. So if you're new in shaving, or you enjoy long relaxing shave, just make sure you keep yourself, the shaving areas, hydrated. So quickly, the other one, the larger blade, that one I said has got a blind spot when you've got the scales up. This one doesn't. Continue. And we have a roaming predator in the bathroom. So if you go against the grain on the tough stuff, and you open up that angle and it doesn't feel good, Just reduce it. And let the blade does it work. And moreover, if you go into a direction and it feels stuggy or uncomfortable, you're unsure about it, just change the degrees of the blade just by a couple of degrees, and then just keep shaving. You'll see a massive difference. So the fool's pass, no problems. Guys, what I'm now doing is just really absurd digging. I really want to see what you can do with this blade, and this is generally, if you do this kind of shaving, people will say don't do that, that's how you're going to cause irritation. And agree, that's how you're going to cause irritation if the blade's not brutally sharp and smooth. I mean, this is dry buffing. So for me, I'll have to see how I feel in half an hour's time. If there's any irritation from that, but my whole thing about stainless steel, specifically this, I think Trevor quickly busted for me. Once again, thank you for the opportunity, Trevor. So folks, let's quickly have a look at this. This is going to be a longer video than normal, is what it is. Two and a half days growth. That post shave next. Leftover soap from the brush. I use that to wash my face. Nando soap's full of nourishment, some form of moisturizing. That's something you have to judge for yourself if you need a little bit more, but I use what I've got. And then when as needed, top up. I let this sit on my skin, rinse the brush, try and recollect how lekker the shave was. clean water that comes out of it, not any soap residue in that. Very important. So some close-ups of the razor. Wet. Here we go. Look at the lines, thinner here, thicker there, and it creates that resistance. When you hold the razor like this, it sits in there. And this is partly, or not partly, a lot where the grip and dexterity comes from. It is incredibly well thought out. It centers exactly the way it should. A beautiful craftsmanship. Because I'm going to rinse this off. Alright, so you guys know my routine by now. If you don't, something to consider. Tallow, very good for your skin, so I use an unscented one that hasn't got any kind of fragrances or other stuff that's going to irritate your skin, and has got a higher tallow total concentration because it hasn't got fragrances in. Fragrances is detrimental to tallow's performance. So this is my top-up moisturizer, pretty much similar to the People's pre-shave. This is just the People's moisturizer. And I leave it on there, you'll see it draws into my skin quite quickly. I'm going to put away the soap and then we're going to finish off with the Miyake splash. Don't run away, there is always something to learn or to consider if you've already forgotten maybe. Witch hazel splashes, if they are kept in a cool, dark, dry place, once after manufacture, essentially about 2 years before they start going off, irrespective if you've opened them or not. So mine's dated 2nd February 2022, so this is one I need to work through. The other one I'm currently working through is light blue. It's the 4th of 22. So I label these things so I know how to use it. I'm quite sure this is going to accommodate bloom very, very well. And moreover, I also like the scent. So I apply this, as you can see, very liberally. Everywhere on my skin, ears, lower neck. Yes, that was a very pleasant 2-part shave. Once again, thank you everybody for joining. See you guys on the next Dapper Shaves video.